So let's
Welcome,
start.
welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the Sponge Cast. Let's start it off with a prayer. Yeah,
Awesome. Let's do that.
that's on you.
Father, we bless you and we thank you. We give you glory. We thank you for this Sunday. We thank you for the good things you've done for us, for our health, for the blessings, for our family members. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to sit down here and have a great conversation. As we talk, as we have these conversations with one another, we pray you give us the enlightenment to see deep things and to be able to share even deep things that will inspire people, educate people, and make them more knowledgeable about the things happening all around the world. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen. Welcome back to the Sponge Cast.
Yeah.
For those of you that this is your first time, what the Sponge Cast is all about, the Sponge Cast is all about soaking in knowledge in terms of health, wealth, faith, fitness, talking about world events, talking about business events that are happening and current events that's happening to gain a deeper and broader understanding about the world, and most importantly, to gain a deeper and broader understanding about ourselves. So to kick this conversation off, I always have to come with a question before we get into the current events.
Let's go, brother.
And
Let's go.
for the past, I think, 2 weeks, my mind's been on time.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why. My mind's been on time lately, and I've been researching and doing some trying to get a deeper understanding about time and how time is very
Are you going into quantum
effective.
physics? And
No, not at all.
I heard something new today, quantum entanglement.
Well,
That was Neil deGrasse Tyson on our PBD podcast.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
about that. He was talking about how there could be different universes and how all universes could be intertwined with this universe.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. That dude is pretty knowledgeable
But
about what
when
he
he
was saying.
talk,
Yeah.
I'm lost the whole time. I'm not gonna even lie.
Really?
He's supposed to be like
I was
the
enjoying it
scientist.
actually. I just slept off while I was watching. I watched half of it and I
What,
slept
the
off.
one with PBD?
The one with PBD.
I watched that too, but that was the only one that was very interesting to me because they hardly talk about science. They talk about science, but they hardly talk about science.
How do you go from being a guy? How do you go through that journey and becoming that person? Well, you look at that story, you'd be like, how do you go from being a stripper? He was almost going
He
to become a
was going to
stripper.
be-
But he was a dancer, pretty athletic guy too, a wrestler, didn't have the best grades in class, and then becoming one of the best astrophysicists in the world today. Pretty much with 20, how many honorary degrees you say he got? 22?
20, he going on his 22nd. He about to
20.
get his
So
22nd.
how do you become, well, if you look at that story, like it aligns with so many like great scientists, like how about Einstein himself, who had mediocre jobs, bookkeeper, he was irrelevant, things that like, they just didn't make sense. Can you imagine the great brain was keeping someone book in the office, like, why was he doing that? Well, that's the journey of a lot of these guys, like.
For sure. And he talked about that's how like back then not back then, but in the school system you can't really judge a person based off grades. You know what I'm saying?
Which I've been saying that, I'll let you go, but I've been saying that thing for like a long time.
You could talk about it.
No, go. No, finish what you're saying because
But he was talking about how you can't base somebody based off grades, and it have to be, I think, 4-dimensional things that you have.
Well, it could be more than 4 dimensions, he said.
But if you dimensionify it too much, then it could get crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then it don't make any sense to me. That's what I get. Like if you basing it based off this and 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 more, then it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but at least it gotta be multiple dimensions.
Yeah, it can't be one dimension. It can't be one dimensional.
Yeah, he's the point there, and maybe I just wouldn't pick the things that affect that
Moved you?
not moved me, but the kind of things that affected me. I say in life, because life is an exam every day, right? And in school, you done something, you're trained to do something, you take exams. When a person takes exam in school and you get penalized for taking exams, like you fail, and then you get penalized. I'm like, that don't teach you how to take exam properly in the real life.
No.
Because in the real life, when you take exams and you fail, it's almost a success. Because now you can mark why you failed and move on, right? So in life, if you talk to like successful entrepreneurs and people that done well in life, what would they achieve? What would their number one advice to you be? To fail, but fail fast.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty much even across the board. No one ever tells you, hey, take 10 years to fail. Or like that's for people that know what they say, like, oh, take your time and fail. No. Say, go there, fail, and fail fast. Right? Fail quickly. The more you shorten your time to fail, the more you can do faster, you can do more things, the more you can accomplish things. Because experiment, for instance, right? Like the reason why we have the light bulb today is because someone was able to fail 1,000 times. Thomas Edison, if he was the one or it was Tesla, whoever designed it, it was fine. We don't care. But the story was Edison failed 1,000 times and he made it on the 1,000th time, right?
Yeah.
So your ability, imagine if you had taken him 1 year to fail each of that 1,000 times. Light bulb.
It would have been,
It would not happen because then someone got to come again and pick up again and take. But if you
say if it take him 1 year to fail at 1,000.
No. If it took him 1 year to fail one time.
Okay. Yeah.
Then it would have take 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Which from when electricity means we'll still be trying till today. We're all living in that, right? But your ability now is instead of failing every year, now failing every day, for instance.
Or every week or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you even want to reduce it to hours, or even seconds. That's development. That's your ability to like be able to like move things fast. Like so, they don't teach you how to. I looked at what he was saying. They don't teach you how to embrace failure. One of the things he said about
the dimensions he was talking about.
How to absorb failure and move forward with that. Yeah, but that was one of them. Go ahead.
And then the next dimension he was talking about is how to interact with people.
Yep. Like in his case, he was a very talkative person.
Yeah, and they tried to stop that. You know?
You see, I tried to stop your mom too in the house with the girl, not stop your mom, but like try to everything. And it's not like I know too much or everything. At times, instinctually, because I see the mistake. Like where we come from in Africa, I see them do that to many people, and I know it inhabits their growth. And there's a limit to it too. There's a little bit of balance, but it's like. At times, when they're moving like that and they got that kind of energy or everything, you must embrace it. And after a while, you start teaching them how to tame the energy. But you don't teach them how to tame the energy as stopping them like, oh, this is like telling them this is power and this is your power and this is very strong. It goes back to like strength finders.
I understand what you was trying to say, but what she was trying to say is, like most people, and what I wonder how you would think in terms of this, but most people in the Bahamas, they tell like kids like this, stay out of grown people business. You know, like don't be like when
that's a different thing though.
When me and you having a conversation, she shouldn't be, butting into our conversation.
I agree though.
Listening to that conversation. But that's exactly what was the situation, right?
No, the situation was, and it wasn't anything, this was not a crazy thing. It was just like, I was just like, leave her alone. So the little kid was like jumping, what's her name, your sister's baby? Zara was, because the elder one is Kenria. Right? So Zara was jumping while your baby was walking for the first time. He was taking that first 8 steps like that.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about.
And she jumping too and everything like that. I'm like, leave that. Let her jump. It's not like, oh, it's your, no, let her be going too. She's boxing in it, like she's enjoying, and she's using her strength there. Our ability to jump. One day, that's her brother. One day, he gonna be doing that, and she gonna be jumping with him. And he, seeing she jumping, he feeding on that energy too. So, and she feeding on his energy. It's back and forth. She's seeing result, and he's seeing result. And it's not like, oh, it's your turn alone, and only you enjoying it. No, they both enjoying it, but it's going back and forth, like on different rhythm. So at this point already, like none of these kids have their cognitive senses developed properly. So they're not doing anything by thinking.
Yeah.
Like they're not sitting down and thinking on what, they're just acting genetically and instinctively, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot tame that. My problem in Africa is they tame that so much. They tame it to the extent you tame people, ability people can't jump anymore. right? And that's one thing my dad is always proud of. He always say, hey, I never tame my children from like, I give them instructions, I did this, I did that, but I never tamed them. I never stopped them from like not being able to like try things or reason. Hence, everyone is the way they are. And hopefully that's how you got someone like me. But in Africa, it was a normal thing. Stop, don't talk. Dude, shut up. It's a baby, it's a kid. Steve, let them, help them grow, help them understand. And as they grow, it's your responsibility now as a coach, as a parent to say, you know what? Okay, let me sit you down. You see, this thing you're doing, it's your strength. They don't learn it, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is how you can polish around it, and they're going to become gold. Like, that's what, what's his name?
But some people don't understand it. Little kids ain't going to understand it at that age.
No, but as they grow, so as they get to that 8 years old, 7 years old, you start putting it. You got to be there. The problem is most parents are not even educated to that. They don't have that understanding of.
Most of them just teach based off what they was taught.
Right?
You know?
So they're not going back of, yo, I'm developing this person. Like, they're not looking and seeing, like, why this person doing this or why they not move. Like, why you move like that? Why you take that like that?
Even like now, like kids nowadays, they more like tech savvy than most. When we were that age, we weren't that tech savvy.
Yeah.
And most people are like, oh, we need to be careful of giving our kids, putting technology in our kids' face. But Darlene always wrestle with that, and me as well, because it's like, you know, you have, the world is evolving, and either you keep up or you get left behind. You know what I'm saying? So if these kids always on the phone or on technology, or, you know what I'm saying, and you keeping your kids away from technology, the way other kids communicating in terms of social media, or you know, that kid would be way far behind because of that. You know what I'm saying? So we always have talks like that.
Well, everything should be restricted, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I think Chamat Hapapetile, I can't remember how you say his name, but the founder of Social Capital, Chamat. Shout out to you, Shamat. Hopefully one day I can sit down and interview Shamat.
Shamat. I don't know.
Shamat, the founder of Social Capital, the guy, venture capital behind Virgin Galactic, and the guy that's always evangelist for Tesla and everything. You don't know Shamat? I think I should. I talked to you about Shamat before. Pretty smart guy, pretty intelligent guy. Didn't really do good in school,
No.
but yeah,
It seems like that's a trend.
It is a trend, because one thing, in order for you to be creative, or for you to be able to take risk, or for your mind got to be able to do this thing where your mind got to be able to wander, sort of. Like, you got to be able to go into your own space and go in. Like, you got to be able to open multiple boxes. So if people are not able to capture your attention, your mind will easily go there. And that has to do with a lot of entrepreneurs, because that's the thing that creates an entrepreneur. Your mind being able to go into a box, multiple boxes, and focus on going in that and finding solutions and doing whatever thing you're doing up there, right? So it's different from an A student, where someone can be, most A students don't turn out to be the leaders of industries. No. Mainly most C students.
Even Patrick Bet-David, he was a one point.
No, and if you look at if you look at what he's built himself into, you think that was a genius that was born. You hear that man talking, and you be like, man, how do you? But that's what happened if you were able to draw on your strength and push it to another level like he did, and he did his with reading books. Which I don't think thus far I don't think that there's anything that's ever been created that will create the kind of success that books will create. You can't beat books. You can't say, no, books are just that's it.
They just bought that new AI company that they were talking about. That might be beating books right now.
Well, it beat books. It beat books, but it goes back to the same thing Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about. Aren't you just incentivizing people to have good grades? Good grades doesn't translate into good education.
Yeah, because you have to,
It's like
influence somebody to educate themselves beyond school.
Yeah, like a girl I used to date, I wouldn't mention the name, but we will have good grades in school.
Yeah.
Right? And then after classes are over, because you've had good grades, for some reason I'll try to test the knowledge. Just me being me. Just want to see if this person can hang along, if they really get it, if they like that, if they shoot like that. You got an A, right? I got an A, so let me see where you are, right? And the whole idea is I can't remember it. I'm like, so you just studied to pass the exam. That's what that AI is doing. You go put the AI thing and you get whatever.
I think that was happening before AI. Because I was like,
the AI just makes it even much
worse,
more prevalent. It wouldn't make the difference. Like Google is there. Google is already the AI.
But what I like about that AI system is, if you want to learn something about this specific topic, you could go on there and be a self-taught learner by just using that one AI and just going on the, what is such and such Fahrenheit of this, that, and why does it work? And, and they give you the exact answer based off millions of different articles or millions of different studies,
Yeah.
So
it would make things faster. It would improve things, just like mechanization and industrialization has done in the past 100 years. It will make things faster, improve things faster, but I don't think it will make it might make the human mind a little bit slower in processing things. Because it's like what calculator is done like today. If I ask you 300 times 225 or everything, you ain't getting it in everything. Yeah. Back in the days, not even 5 days ago, like people were able to do that. Like 10 years, like you would have been able to do that. Because you know why? Because that would have been simple maths to you. Why would that have been simple maths to you? Because there was no calculator.
Yeah.
So in order for you to have gone to this stage you are today, you would have had to do that solution 100 millions of times in your mind. So now you would have become, and your cognitive training is like lifting weight. Wait, see, now society will go ahead faster with that, with the advent of these. But with the advent of these also, there's
this human slower.
There's a degradation in your own processing unit, because now you don't gotta depend on it again. Now it might evolve into something else where you become faster but in terms of processing that, it's fine.
So is that a good thing though? Is that a good thing?
It has its pros and cons. I think in a general, I think it might, the pros might outweigh the cons. It's just like lifting things. Right? Like before, people were strong, everybody was fit and strong, right? And everything, because everybody lifted thing. They had to go hunt. Like if you hunt, you got to carry it on your back and bring it back and everything. But today you got them. Why they got to lift anything?
What is it called? Them what?
I don't know.
You don't want to put a name on it?
No. They put it on whatever thing they gotta put it on. They use the machine to lift it up. They bring it, and nobody carries anything anymore, right? So why do you have to be that strong? So men are less fit than they've ever been. Testosterone, as you see according to study, is lower than it's ever been, right?
Testosterone, you say?
Yeah. So why are all these things happening? Because it comes to a point where there's no use to it. There's no use for it, right? So men are evolved. Your body will evolve too if you're not using what it's supposed to be used for. You will lose it, right?
But
so
it all comes down. What I'm hearing is all comes down to basically how you wanna use it. It could always
like
the AI, that AI system. Anything is there, but if you could use that thing for good, or you could use that thing for bad. You know what I'm saying? It has its pros and its cons, just like you say, and you could choose to use it for its pros, and you could choose to use it and for its cons.
I agree. Yeah.
So I get that. We ain't even get into
it's part of it, man. It's just some extra new things we set in.
We didn't get into the question of time, but I like that conversation better. So,
but what question you got on time? We just make a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, what is your, like, how do you see time? How do you define time? And yeah, basically talk about time a little bit to see how do you define time and how do you use time and how do you perceive it. Because that's the question I am desperately, like, searching answers and knowledge for.
Time. So in physics, time is the one thing that really doesn't have any real definition. You know that?
Really?
Yeah. So time is just the difference between two events. There's no real definition for time. So I don't know whether it was in this I was talking about. I think whether I was on this podcast, but that's why I believe, like, time really doesn't exist, right? Time is just a phenomenon God created and put man inside and stayed outside time. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not the most physics, but if time is a circle, it means there's no ending point and there's no beginning, technically, except the one you put and the one you end with. But everything is just one loop on a 2D diagram, right? So that's my definition of time, man. Time is, and that's why I'm probably a bad time manager. I'm trying to be good with it. I've been good thus far, but you got to know how to manage time and everything. But time, like, what's the difference between 40 years and what's the difference between 100 years? You don't know that. You can't put anything on it.
No.
Yeah.
At least I could say one is less time than the other time.
But what is time? The difference between two events. Mm-hmm. That's why the Bible says a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day to the Lord.
To God, yeah. Because He live in eternity, though.
Yeah, but
we live in time.
That's eternity is the absence of time, right? Mm-hmm. Unending.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to our good friend Miles Monroe, and he was talking about how time, God put you in time to save you from eternity. Mm-hmm. He was saying how you could imagine you having a headache in eternity.
Yep.
Imagine you going through a breakout in eternity.
It's loop. It's a loop. Unending.
Yeah. Can you imagine how crazy that would be to have a headache in eternity?
Forever.
It's crazy. But anyways, let's get into these current topics. We got some current topics for you guys. We took a lot of time.
Keep going. Let's go with it.
In terms of what is that anyways?
Well, so my idea, right, and I'm trying to practice it now. Maybe I'm starting this today because today is like the beginning of my week, right? I already start on Wednesday, so already
on Wednesday or
I mean on Sunday. Sorry,
yeah.
Ed Milet doesn't use the normal time other people uses.
Okay.
He does 4 hours. He does 6 hours a day. Because to him, according to his definition, he said my day starts from 4 in the morning to 10, and that's one day. And then I have another day from 10. I have another day from 10 to 6. That's one day. So I use 3 days and I sleep for 1 day. I sleep for 1 day, 6 hours, I wake up and wear everything. And that's 1 day. But those 3 days, things are done even like today I will do this, tomorrow I will do this, and next, and it's all in 1 day. And he said, don't you think it's crazy that we still calculate time the way some guy did it 300 years ago? Where if they killed an animal, they had to carry it on their neck and walk 5 hours or 10 hours before they can have dinner and sleep and everything. Whereas if you want to do it, you got to go to McDonald's there and buy the food in less than 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. It took the guy a whole day to eat. It's taking you 5 minutes and you're still calculating time the same way he calculated it 300 years ago. Yeah. You don't think something off somewhere? Yeah. So it's like for all you that think I'm crazy out there, like I'm not the crazy one. Maybe we should really look for the crazy ones. But that's it. Like that's the uniqueness of thinking, right? Is this thinking, this kind of people who thinking that differentiates these people, because we think successful people do things the same way we do them. Mm-hmm. No, they don't. And then they find tiny little differences, nuances, and they tweak those in their favor every time, like time.
And then if you see that person, you would hear that person talk, you'd be like, this dude is crazy.
Yep. Some things they would say. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about that sometime where I was like, Someone was talking, I was like, if they hear this person talk, they'll be like, nah, he crazy.
Yeah, but it's so crazy that you call a normal person crazy about certain ideas like that
Because
until it worked for them, right? Until they become successful with it, and then that crazy turn to being a genius.
yeah, but that goes back to the book, The Hypermanic Edge. The difference between crazy. We've always heard that before. Like the difference between crazy and genius is a line, right? It's a line. Come on, man. Look at the guys that say, man, we can fly. The William brothers. You don't think we would thought they would like lost it there for a moment? Like, feel bad for them. Like, the ones I really feel bad for is the one that said we can watch people on the screen. Like,
For real.
oh, we can call, like, like I can talk to a guy all the way 10,000 miles away.
In Africa, and I'm here, and they could see me in the screen in real time.
They be like, nah, he lost it.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the line. If people ain't thinking, if people don't go home every day thinking like, nah, this person is crazy. Or like, nah, this nigga losing it. Forgive me.
You could say that. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's
But
crazy.
if they ain't thinking this person is losing it, you might not be up to something. It's said there's no. If you look at the founders of Google, right? Their professor, the first time he saw them, the first thing was like, yeah, the similarities between two of them, where he knew like, okay, yeah, like they will work good with each other, was like, yeah, crazy, good, yeah. So the only difference between crazy was one just opened the door and went in the office, one knocked and didn't wait for you to come and open the door for him, but still went in. That was the only difference, but they were both crazy. The only thing is one knocked and opened the door by himself, and one just didn't knock, he just went in. But it is the same action of craziness. It's just one was a polite madman, and the other one was just a madman.
Real, man. Anyways, we could talk about these things all day.
Yeah.
And this is why we take up so much time talking. But we got these 3 current events I want to talk about that we want to talk about, basically. And these ain't really so current, like you said. It happened in the span of about, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But the first topic we got Kevin McCarthy being elected for the the Speaker of the House. Yeah. After 15 votes and a few days of negotiation. How many days
did that take again? 11 days?
I don't even know. I think it was like four days, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't 11. I don't think it was 11 days. I think it was 4 days. And then we're going to talk, obviously, we can't skip over current events without talking about this classified documents that Biden had.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into what happened the dispute between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp in terms of the Damar Hamlin situation. I really want to get into that. That should be a good topic. But
all right, let's start with the Kevin McCarthy. Kevin
McCarthy was supposed to be the front runner of the Republican Party to be the Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
And they thought in the midterm elections, it was going to be this big red wave, like they said. Everybody know the red wave that was supposed to happen, but didn't end up happening. And the Democrats end up winning 212 seats in the House of Representatives, and the Republicans, they won, but they won by a tiny little, and they had 222 seats. But in order to be the Speaker of the House, you have to win 218 votes. And he thought that because, he's kind of on the Trump, he's under Trump, right? He's Trump endorsed.
Yeah.
And he thought that everybody who was Trump endorsed, it would have been most of them that would have been voting for him. But most of the people that voted that was Trump endorsed didn't really win the seats, right?
Yeah.
So said if you have 222 seats in the Republican, that means obviously the Democrats ain't gonna vote for Republicans to be the House's the Speaker of the House, right?
Yeah.
So it only
that's a career suicide. if you do. If you do it.
So what had ended up happening, he need 218, right? But they have 222. So if he had 5 people that didn't wanted him as a House of
And
as of the Speaker of the House, he wouldn't have, and they would have had to do recalls and vote again, and that's what ended up happening.
yeah.
For 15 recalls, the last time that happened,
When was the last time?
that they recalled a vote?
Yeah.
In 1923. And you know how much times they recall it?
How much time?
Once.
Yeah, because usually it's always pretty. It's always pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
It's always pretty simple. Like you are the majority leader in the thing. Your party vote. So my question is, what's happening in the Republican Party?
That's
Like,
awesome.
why couldn't they all just get together and surround the leader of the House and their minority leader and make him the majority leader of the House?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like it shows a divide in the Republican Party when it comes to the 2024 elections.
There is that big divide we always
guys-
talk about. Who is on the DeSantis ban and who
Really
is on the.
conservative.
Well, most people are on the DeSantis ban, and then you still have the MAGA people that believe Trump is sent by God to deliver the United States from the foreseeable catastrophe that is bound to happen. Okay, so if that's gonna happen, but DeSantis is not even saying anything, not even know everything. He's still playing the game of leave me out of this.
He may be playing a really good game though.
Yeah.
Because did he announce that he was bringing out his autobiography? Didn't they say he was announcing that he was bringing out his autobiography?
Some like that.
When you bringing out an autobiography, and in them terms, it means that you're gonna more than likely run for the.
Did you see
presidency.
the debate Patrick Bet David had with Adam on what strategy is he gonna use? Like how soon? Because almost 2 years left, right? How many years? Less than 2.
Yeah, less than 2 now.
Yeah. So it's like how long is it? You got to in the next couple of months you got to start campaigning. You ain't gonna campaign for 1 year. You got to use at least 1.5 years to campaign, right? Yeah. So you got to jump in the water very soon. You got to announce your candidacy and everything. And
but a lot of people ain't announced that though.
Huh?
A lot of people ain't announced.
Yeah, but you'll be coming in pretty soon. Remember when did Trump announce? Trump announced in 2016. And when did he become president? The end of 2017, right? Most people are going to start announcing this year, right? This before May this year, people will start announcing planning on running or everything. And mainly it's going to be DeSantis and Trump, right? The only thing is Trump endorsed DeSantis to become governor. Trump went there and campaigned for him to make him governor. Yeah. So how that going to play out? How's it going to play out?
Well, Patrick Bet David did say that he have to play the game of, hey, you did endorse me, but what I have done from the time you endorsed me from being governor till now is me, and then
100% agree with that.
And then
100%.
in the midterm, the way he won the midterm, the way he won
this current
Florida
midterm,
over, he's saying that that's all him.
Yeah. But the thing is, they were saying, and this is the argument on the other side, those are the things Trump would do. He would have done that. He didn't do anything different from what Trump would do. That was what Trump was doing before he got housed out of the presidency, according to many people. He was doing that. That was what he was doing.
What?
His policy, COVID policies. That was what Trump was doing. He wasn't doing anything different or everything. So the thing is the funny thing was I think Vinny was the one who brought this up in the PVD podcast where he said the way Kamala Harris went straight for Biden truth at the or everything, when she said, you're a racist. When they get to that point, it's they still ran as president and vice president, but at that point, he went after him right there.
Yeah. But
She
I
took
don't
the
think-
biggest dog in the room and said, I'm gonna whoop you.
Yeah, but I do not think DeSantis is going to come
And
in and go after Trump like that, though.
no,
He's not.
I think I like Patrick's strategy because that's also Trump's
Which
strategy.
I was telling you that was going to happen.
Like his
before
strategy?
that. Like I told you, in order for DeSantis to win, he can't play the Trump game. He can't come after Trump like the way Trump come after people. He have to be a smooth, suave criminal in order to win. He can't come after Trump and make things messy, like how you say, and take you into deep waters. And
well, he's not
bloody
the
it
one
up,
that's gonna make things messy. The person that's gonna make things messy will make things messy.
which is going to.
You ever see the boxing match between Sugar Leonard and
Henny?
no Magler? Marvin Magler? Marvin Hagler?
No.
Marvin Marvelous Hagler?
No.
Where he changed his name into Marvelous?
No. No.
It's like you knew Sugar Ray Leonard was gonna come out with a sweet boxing, right? The professional. But you know Hagler was gonna come out there as the brute that he is to make it rough. You know he gonna come out southpaw swinging. You know he gonna come out with his head, everything coming in, everything. You know he ain't gonna change nothing about it. You knew he was coming that way, and you knew it's just now. But now you're gonna fight him that way. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to fight that. You're gonna have to fight that.
That's like Javante Davis and Isaac Cruz.
Yeah.
Pitbull Cruz, who everybody thought was gonna get swept by Javante.
He
came out, you know,
with his pitbull thing. But this is Trump, and you don't know what you're gonna get. That's the truth. Whether you like it or you like, no one know how he would treat DeSantis. I suppose they probably made a couple of different calls and see what they're gonna do here, his camp to DeSantis camp, and everyone is trying to work it. Like they want to see Republicans do have a big shot of winning this election. Question is, who is gonna get out of the Republican camp? DeSantis will make a good candidate.
And he have a lot of people backing him and endorsing him. So
yeah, he does have a lot of people backing and endorsing him. What about Trump? He don't have a lot of people backing and endorsing him.
It don't look so though. It don't look so, like I tell you. But we gonna talk about this later because we gonna.
So
we gonna
I think the word Patrick used there was a synergist, and I think that's the only thing that really can get DeSantis to win, to become that synergist, to say, you know what, give him. First of all, you got to be prepared, because if you're not prepared, your idea that Trump will not punch is just a weak whatever thing. It will start nice, and Trump will shake your hand and even hug you.
My idea, it ain't my idea that Trump will start off.
No. It might be his idea. That man, like this dude will respect me. Like, yeah, I remember Chuck.
Everybody know Trump ain't coming in respecting nobody.
Okay.
Trump is not a presidential kind of person, you know. So he's not gonna come in all buddy and hey man.
But Trump comes in all buddy at times.
No, when is that?
This is the thing with Trump, right? And people don't see it. Trump goes to these people, hug them, shake them, and they slam their head on the wall in the same motion.
I don't see that happening.
So he would come and say, "Hey, go to." But this happens in debates, in what's it called, politics every time. It's just like Kamala Harris. Didn't she go for his truth?
Yeah.
She knew that's the top dog, and in order for her to take him out, she got to get rid of his head at first. And the first debate, she forget about everybody and just went straight for him. Like, she did go after him, but it didn't work because the Democratic Party is much more uniform than the Republican Party, right? The Republican Party will allow blood because they want to use logic, and this Democrat Party, they kind of have who they want to run, and it's just that person. Like, no matter how much you make it, whatever thing.
Shut up, sit down, and this is our candidate.
Yeah, if not, Bernie Sanders would have won severally, right? Because that was the Trump of their party. Yeah. And he had, the way Trump had Megyn, he had his own.
Didn't they force him to step down?
Yeah, they forced him to let Hillary run. They forced him on Biden too. So, but
Speaking of that, let's get into this Biden, these classified documents that they found
yeah.
in Biden's possession. How do you feel about that? What's your mental on that?
I mean, you're the one that got the real news on that, but for me, I just felt like the man is a tired man, and as a tired person, on several occasions, he left papers where he's
Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe.
he left papers where he's supposed to leave papers. Went to the garage to go take something from the outside fridge. He had a bunch of papers with him, and he left it on top of the fridge there. They just finding papers everywhere. The what they call it again? His allied aide, one of his aides, they found 5 pieces in this place.
In his Corvette.
Yeah, if he was in a safe, then be like Trump saw they found it in the safe and
But you know what
intentionally
is?
put it there.
You know what is rebuttal was to that?
Huh?
It was in a locked garage. My Corvette is in a locked garage, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, Biden, man. Biden is funny.
Biden is like, he's a character, man. You gotta
This
give
dude
him.
say, by the way, my Corvette is in the locked garage. I said, what? This dude really gonna say that on national TV, bro?
He like his Corvette. I'm telling you, he like his Corvette more than he like that papers. Just to let you know, he's just letting you know, like you can take the paper, like.
But what's so funny is the
was
way they
safe.
treat Trump's situation and the way they treat Biden's situation, and they finding papers all over the place, right? At least Trump was
Careful with it.
careful with it, and he had it in one place in Mar-a-Lago. But they finding these things
Different
in the
houses,
Biden Penn
different-
station, in this house and everything. And look at the way the media playing it, though. Like, oh, he's very cooperative, and he's giving the papers over to whoever he have to give.
Well, the
papers
media is
over.
one-sided.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
this goes to show you that all these people that follow the media and expect the media to be given good and proper news, and they go based off what the media say and not being free thinkers and thinkers of self, you would be easily persuaded. You know what I'm saying? And that's how
Right.
most of the world is, right? Not most of the world, but I could speak for the United States. That's how most people in the United States is. They see something on social media or they see something in the media, and they stick onto that rather than saying, oh, you know, maybe I should do my own research about it. But nobody want to do their research. Nobody, they want to be lazy, and they want to take something and run with it and use it as the gospel.
Yeah.
And it's... You can't do that in this day and age, because even with the Twitter files that are coming out, you can clearly see that the media is one-sided.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you go based off that one-sided media, you would be deterred. You would be a flock of pigs running, you know, on the side of a mountain about to dive in the deep end.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it up, but, you know, even with the COVID situation,
Yep.
you know, I mean, I don't want to get into that topic because, you know, how it is nowadays. But matter of fact, let me get into the topic. You know, with the COVID situation.
Get in there before they cancel you.
With the
Get it out.
With the COVID situation and how many people was like, oh yeah, because man, bro, when I got
Computer gonna pick
chastised.
out this thing you're saying. Let's go.
You know, for real, when I tell you I got chastised for not taking the shot.
Yeah.
You know how much people chastised me? I went and remember when I went to Raven Gap?
Yes.
I went to one of my friend's house, and my own cousin, bro. I went to one of my friend's house with his mom, and they, like, big name people, you know, they're community developers and everything.
Yeah.
And we just there having a conversation, chopping it up. And you know, all of a sudden, the COVID topic come up, and they asking who took the shot and who didn't take the shot. I say, you know what, I'm gonna be quiet and I ain't gonna say nothing, you know. But I know what's gonna come to me, and I say I didn't take the shot. And you know, you hurting people, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm like, y'all took the shot, right? So how am I hurting y'all for not taking the shot? You know. And then now that the tables have turned, the people that was chastising me ain't chastising me anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know much about COVID, but I couldn't do much research about it either because I wasn't well versed about the topic. You know, but for me it was like
autodidact that you are now.
I don't know nothing about it, so let me sit still and chill and, you know what I'm saying? Rely on God rather than relying on people to give me one-sided media, you know what I'm saying? One-sided information and telling me this is good and let me go and do it, you know? But it is what it is.
It is, my guy.
Everybody have their own way of thinking.
That's right.
And like my mom always say, you can't be people for people. You only could be yourself.
That's true. So yeah, but that's, it's the human nature for us to be able to go follow the flock. In most situations, if something starts happening and people start running, just because of the survivor instinct you have in you, you run before you ask questions, right? There are very few people that will have the courage to stand and say, what's happening? Who was the first guy to run? But most people wouldn't do that, and it's okay because they want to survive. So, and that's how you control the world. That's how you use fear and greed controls this world. You use the movement of fear and greed. Oh, the recession is happening. Everybody, oh, there's a boom. Everybody, the narrative, they make this circle, and that's how we go in the cycles. Because what everything, if you're gonna become a wealthy person, for instance, you gotta be that guy that's like, okay, recession now, what's happening?
But it's easy for a wealthy person to do that, though.
You would not be wealthy if you can't do that in the first place. Yeah.
I feel that.
Because you'll be losing it with everybody. So you wouldn't, your ability, a wealthy person doesn't become wealthy because they are wealthy. They become wealthy because they are wealthy. So you become that person before you have the material thing. The habits are what produces the results, not the result produce the habit. Like, oh, I have 500,000 in my account because I have 500,000 in my account. No, I have 5,000 in my account because I was this person. We did this and we did that. And over this period of time, we did this, and that's how we got 500,000
in my account. Because when I had 5,000 in my account,
I did this. So it's the person you become. Yeah, but yeah, let's see. How many topics we covered there?
2. We got this last topic of what happened between Shannon Sharp and the dilemma between Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
So you know about this, right?
I do, of course I know about it, but
obviously
go into it. Like, let me see your point of view.
What happened was, we all know that Damar Hamlin situation, right? When that was going on, not Sharp, Skip Bayless ended up tweeting something.
Yeah.
Right? And this was the tweet. The tweet was like, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game. But how? This is what Skip Bayless was saying. He said, this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season and the outcome, which suddenly seemed irrelevant.
Because the life. Let me read that out.
That's what it says.
I can read it out.
So
the full thing. No, that's not the full quote. That's not the full quote.
That is a full quote.
No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? Skip Bayless tweeted as the medical personnel attended to Hamlin on the field in Cincinnati. This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly means so irrelevant.
So that was his first tweet. That was his tweet, and people chastised him about it.
Yeah.
Which was rightfully so, you know? Because...
You don't think people were thinking the same thing? I thought people were thinking the same thing. Because in my mind, I'm there thinking like, okay, I'm like, let's do the calculation. Are they going to end the whole, like, how soon is too soon? I think that was the main question there. How soon was too soon? Like, When should he have said that? Like, should he have waited like a day before he said that? Because if you watch the same statement he made there,
You saying how soon is too soon?
yeah, that was the thing. Like, it's not like his point was irrelevant. And
His
because
point wasn't irrelevant, and he was making a good point, yes. But in terms of what happened, dude, these people, see, with me, I like to step out and put myself in other people's shoes, right?
yeah,
And I agree with Skip in terms of Skip never played the game of football. He never. So Skip is a person who looking from the outside in, you know? He looking from a bird's eye view.
yeah,
Shannon Sharp, he's looking from the inside out.
yeah.
You know what I'm
As
saying?
someone that
He's
could have been in
on
that
the field.
situation.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He's seen this happen firsthand.
Yeah,
Some of his colleagues went through not a similar situation whilst he was on the field.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
So he understanding the hurt. He basking in the hurt. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because he
Could have been
through that
him.
before. You know, Shannon Sharp is looking from the outside in. He's looking as a spectator as he is,
Yeah.
right? Who've been spectating for over 40 years, you know, and he's seeing from the outs. He's seeing a bird's eye view. Okay, what is this gonna do to the NFL and this and that and this? And Sharp is like, bro, the player. You know what I'm saying? What about the player? You're talking about, oh, the NFL and yes, the player, but the NFL and how this gonna affect the regular season, how it's gonna affect the playoffs, and this is a crucial game for the regular season. Yes, I get that, but bro, the player.
yeah,
Don't forget to be a human being.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Don't
get it.
forget to be a human being, bro, because if it was somebody that you were close with, if it was his family member, you think he would have had that same tweet? Not at all. Not at all.
No.
He wouldn't have had that same tweet. But what I wanted to address in terms of this
But
situation,
are you saying he shouldn't have said like no doubt? So let's read what he said again.
Okay.
No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how?
he's saying, but how? He's saying, how could they?
So like, so my read is like how is he gonna, like what are they gonna do? Like are they gonna postpone the finals too? Are they gonna what's gonna be the rudimentary work now? Like what are the preliminaries that are gonna come together to make sure this works together? Like how? But how? Like. One of these teams got to make it to the playoffs, and one don't got. Who were they playing that night? Bengals and everything. It was vital to who we qualify. Like how? Like if you postpone these, how? Like what are we doing next? Like I agree. Like the player. That's what I'm saying. Like so, all these questions, everyone asked it 2 days later. The only thing is they waited 1 day.
All these
The
questions-
problem is he jumped out too fast. He jumped out too fast. And that's the Japanese saying. It's a popular saying. It's a, hey, you want to be the nail that rise up? The nail that rise up first will be the one that get it on the head, right? So you get chastised for that. But it wasn't like all the networks and everything didn't have this conversation later.
of course,
They had it on
gonna
all
have
the,
that
it was only
conversation
2 days later.
All right. All right. So, like I was saying, this reminds me of how the scripture says you have to be in the world, but not of the world, because if you know the times that you're in this time, the sports world is speaking about how, everything is pushing for mental health. Everything is pushing for, the health of the players. They're talking about insurance of the players and how basically, these sports organizations are taking the advantage of, the players. And if you would know that, you would know not to say something like that right away. You know what I'm saying? You would know that, okay, yeah, maybe I have these thoughts, but I know the times now, you know? But because Skip has been, you know, they say you could teach an old dog, you could never teach an old dog's new tricks, you know? He's still thinking about the times back then where a player could break their neck and the game still go on for the love of the game, you know? But we in different times now, my boy.
And
Skip.
this was unusual. Like this kind of I think they said they never had any incident when they had to bring an ambulance on the field, where they had to issue what's it called, like when they used the vibrator to wake you up or everything.
I forgot what it's
They
called.
had to put him on ventilator right away, like what everything. They had to CPR, everything. They never had an issue like that. Break bone is different, not concussion. This dude stopped breathing. Breathing. They had to restart his heart on the field there.
Yeah.
So it was a very critical situation. But my thing is, it wasn't like anyone wasn't thinking that. Like, people there working on the air were thinking, like, oh, is this game? I was there watching the game live. I'm thinking, like, are they going to still play? The players were also thinking, are they going to still play? They're thinking, do we have to play? Like, this game is so crucial because if we lose, this happens to this other team. If we don't win, if they win, this happens to the other team. So they were thinking, like, are we going to play? And they had to take that time to go have that discussion inside.
Yeah. They had to.
And as I said, like 2 days later, they had a discussion on TV. And they eventually, NFL came out and said that game will not be played. They found a way to come in. But I think, how was just like, yeah, it's going to be canceled. It's going to be canceled, but how are we going to get around this? Like how is this going to affect the wild cards? Like, how is that going to affect it?
Yeah.
Is the team that's supposed to have worked their whole hours to be in this, are they going to like not make it in and this other team makes it in? And then they go ahead and play in the, it's just a question. It was just the semantics there. Like, okay, well, I said like, who explained it the best to me? Like, Charlemagne the God. He said, people were just in usually when something negative like this happens, there's someone to point a hand on. The coach, he had concussion 2 weeks ago. They shouldn't have put it in again. The health protocol, they knew. Who's the doctor team? That player ran him so hard. He should be fined. He should have been sent. But there was no one to blame. He's the one that did the hit. He didn't even hit that aggressively. There's nobody to point a finger to. So he's just looking who to put it in. Don't give a damn.
Skip.
You trolling her. Because a lot of people saw it as a troll.
It wasn't a troll.
But a lot of people saw it as that. Like, read the statement. There's nothing. He didn't say the game should not be suspended. He said looks like most likely, before they even came to the conclusion, he already like anticipated and said most likely this will happen.
But in that time, there's no way you should be tweeting something like that in those times, bro. The first tweet should have come out of your mouth.
They're media.
The first tweet that should have come out of your mouth was prayers for Damar Hamlin and his family. Yeah. Before you even think about saying anything other than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What happened, the situation at hand, you better say prayers for Damar Hamlin and his family.
Yeah.
You won't say nothing about any of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you come on national TV the day after that.
Yeah.
Giving a sorry apology.
Now my question is, do you think Skip should have like bailed out on him like that, the way he bailed?
Sharp?
Yeah, should have. Do you think Shannon Sharp should have bailed out?
No, I think he was wrong for doing that as well.
No, two wrongs don't make it right.
No, not at all. But I think he was wrong for doing that because, but at the same time, we don't know his situation and we don't know how he was handling that situation. He could have been a very dear friend to Damar Hamlin, and we don't know.
But he wasn't.
You know that?
If he
We
was,
don't-
he would have
we-
said it.
We don't know that, though.
He wasn't
We
a
don't
dear
know that.
friend. He said very clearly why he didn't want to show up on Worthing. He said he didn't want to have the debate on.
Between
He and
that is
Skip
right.
on that.
That's right. But if you didn't want to have that debate, say that. You know what I'm saying? Say that. You could say, "Hey, I don't want to have the debate between, and let's have a civilized conversation."
Yeah, he said he
Of
didn't want to
this,
have
you
the
know?
debate though. Like that's why he didn't show up. And I'm a sharp guy. I think he stand up for the right thing. I think I'm a big fan. But he didn't want to have the debate. But yet he was the one. The next day he was the one that mentioned that.
But
In his
If you-
monologue,
if
he
you-
mentioned, he brought it up, but he said he didn't want to talk about it. But
if-
then he brought it up.
he brought it up.
So he just want to say
say-
what he want to say and let it be like, okay, I said my piece, but you don't say your piece. Don't talk about it.
He didn't even finish his monologue.
But
He
he
did
said,
not even finish his monologue.
but he said he didn't want to say anything. He didn't want to debate about it. It's a debate show. If you're gonna bring it up, if I understand it's a very sensitive issue, but if you're gonna bring it up, you just want to say, oh, you know what,
My
you were
guy.
wrong. You know what, you were wrong.
They
but
on
don't.
national television.
Yeah.
They have to bring that topic up.
But
But
they-
they don't have to debate about the topic, though.
So what? See, he said. So it has been made very clearly. Right. It has been made very clearly. Like Skip on that day, I said, I'm not putting down the tweet, right? And he's been fine with everybody. They've all talked about it, like everything. And he's like, I stand by my tweet. I didn't say anything wrong in my tweet, which I agree. I'm looking at this tweet. There ain't nothing wrong personal. Like
the
he
timing
didn't
that was wrong.
pray for him. He didn't did for him. He didn't kiss his leg. He didn't do anything.
And that
right?
was wrong.
He shouldn't. No, but that's up to him. What do you mean? You don't force anyone to pray for someone or not pray for
Bro.
someone.
Bro, you're not being a civilized human being.
No,
it's you being inhumane about thinking about what
That don't mean he did anything
what
wrong.
the course of the NFL is going to be
How-
like
how do
because
you-
of
how
this
do you
game,
know how do you-
rather than you thinking about
How do
this
you know
guy.
how do you know how you feel inside? It's subjective. You can't make any
But
evidence.
he's telling you how you feel inside because
So you
the
are-
first thing he gonna tweet is something about how the game is gonna go on and how that's gonna happen. How is this guy gonna breathe again? Think about that first. Tweet about that first before you tweet about.
They
and this is what-
already got him breathing on the field.
Yeah. They got him breathing on the field, not by his own strength though.
Yeah, they put him on place him on a ventilator.
Okay.
I wasn't saying. I'm not
Okay.
saying in any form, shape, or anything. The man Hamlin was the point I'm just trying to make is everybody, including the media on the TV that day while it was going on,
Was
were
gonna talk
asking
about
that
it.
question. They were like, as you said, our heart goes out to him. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know how this is going to affect the league. We don't know how this is. Everyone was talking and they were saying all kind of things. The guys that were live on TV, it wasn't like they weren't mentioning things like this. It wasn't like everyone was just like quiet and like, oh, like who makes these decisions? Like people were talking. So the thing is, Skip just talked too, but he wasn't the only one talking. Guys were talking on live TV. And if they didn't chastise, if they didn't come after Skip the way they came after him, the next day people would have even talked more about it. Because now the Jaguars might not make it, or this might not make it, or that team might not make it. Be like, oh, those guys, like, people would have talked about it. He said, that's their business. That's how they feed their kids.
But bro,
You just saying he wasn't
You
compassionate
can't-
enough.
you can't be that inhumane
In his tweet, in his tweet.
in his tweet.
But you cannot say,
However,
you don't know the conversations he was having.
before he tweeted that.
Yes.
But you are going on
On a platform.
platform that is big, bro. That everybody is going to see. Make sure people see your humane self before they see your
And
inhumane self.
as
bro.
Stephen A said, I ain't agree with Shannon not showing up because he has said this 100 times already. He on that show because Skip
him
Stephen
down.
A. got that show?
Because of Skip.
Because Skip.
And
Like,
that's-
Skip is proving time and time again, like, this is the kind of person I am. Everyone knows Skip is a very competitive person. Everyone knows Skip is the nearest thing to an athlete. That's a 70.
Not a nearest thing to an athlete.
Well, I mean,
He's
a
never
nearest.
been on the field. He's never played football.
Well,
he's never played.
What do
any,
you mean? Skip never played
He's
game growing
never,
up.
He's never played.
He
in
never
the
played
NFL.
professionally.
Okay, he's never played.
But these people play. These people love the game. They just didn't have the athletic capacity to
Okay,
compete
that's
on that
fine.
level. But
But
you saying like Stephen A, for instance, he played in college.
Yeah.
So people talking trash about Stephen A. Oh, you talking too much? Put a retarded line back in. This dude played college ball, bro. He just didn't have the skill level that you had, and it took
fine.
he took what he had. But you saying, oh, like he ain't like he's some scrub or something. Like you're gonna take him in the gym and he can't do nothing. That's it.
The
That's not-
reason why Skip got
being competitive don't got anything to do with that you're athletic or anything. Like the reason why
never said
Skip,
that.
the reason why Skip has risen to the place where he is today
it's because he's competitive.
is because he's willing to go, and that goal is the same goal that he went and he did, and that to go first. That's the example of that nail that get up. And believe me, I don't think this is the first time Skip is taking the pressure like this. Because I'm pretty sure
Obviously
many
not.
times he's get up
Obviously
like
not.
that and he got hit on the head. And then you become, that's how you become a strong nail. You get up and you get hit on the head. And that's what happened in
But
this.
that's besides the points, bro.
He went out and put his mind out there first before anyone in that situation where everyone was shut
He put
up.
his mind out there first
Yeah.
before he put his heart out there first. Let's make that clear.
Could have been, yeah.
He put his mind out there first before he put his heart out there. Put your heart out there first while somebody is fighting for their life before you put your mind out there and thinking about it. That's what I'm
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
I
that
agree,
he's
but
wrong for.
I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that statement of what
There's
you made.
nothing wrong.
Because I was thinking that.
There's nothing wrong about the statement. It's something wrong about you making that statement before you make a statement of saying that my heart is out there for him and his family. That's the first thing you should say.
Yeah.
That's the first thing anybody should say. Be a human being, bro. Before you be an inhumane person. That's all I'm saying.
Nah,
He could have tweeted that. He could have tweeted that after he tweeted.
I do not agree in any shape or form that Chris is an inhumane person. He is not shown any
Obviously,
form of inhumanity.
he is a human person.
The Shannon
but
that
what
didn't
I'm saying-
show up will be the first to tell you like, nah, my big bro ain't no inhumane person. It's not an inhumane person. He'll tell you that.
Okay, but
But,
you know what Patrick Bet David say?
Mm-hmm.
Be able to isolate certain situations. And when you isolate that situation, yes, he is a humane person. But if you isolate what happened, he is wrong for doing what he did in that situation. We're not saying that he is a very inhumane person and da 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 da. We ain't saying that because.
So
Skip
is it like the tweet is wrong or the timing of the tweet? Because my problem is the timing of the tweet. As I said, like he's the first nail to stand up. And at times you get it on your head. So
can't be the first.
maybe next time you should try to rise up as 20 nails at the same time. But is it the timing? Is that the problem? Because
It's not even the timing.
It's like what he
basically-
didn't post
It
at
is
first.
the timing, but it's not. That's not the big problem.
so
The
if he had
problem
had the
is-
show first and then make a post,
no,
because
if
on the
had-
show he would have
if he had
said,
been compassionate first before he made that tweet, everything would have been fine. Nobody would have been talking about this situation.
"But how do you know he wasn't compassionate first?"
Because
he
he's
didn't
on
let
the-
you know that.
He wasn't compassionate on the big stage first.
Uh-huh.
Before he put his mind out there, like we said. If you want to put your mind out there, be compassionate and say, first and foremost, let me, if he had said first and foremost, let me say that my heart and my prayers go out to Damar Hamlin and his family in this time, everything would have been fine. Even in the timing when he said that, if he had said that right, if he said first and foremost, but some of these people, they so indoctrinated in their work and he been doing this for 40 years that he probably didn't even think, but that he thought about work first before he thought about the human first, is what I'm saying.
You mean Skip been doing this for more than 40 years?
Yeah, for more than 40 years. That's what I'm saying. He's indoctrinated in his work. So he thought, like, oh my gosh, this could not happen. He looking at it from a bird's eye view. He's not in there on the field. He's never been on the field with these guys in the NFL playing. So he's looking at it from a bird's eye view first before he's looking at it from a human eye view, from seeing this person face to face and seeing something like that happening and seeing the trauma that happened that's going on the sideline with the Bills Mafia. That's all I'm saying. And then the next thing
I think human beings are always just looking for a villain, man. That's all I think, to be frank. Like,
well,
I think
they was looking for a villain, he was the best villain to pick.
Yeah, that's it. At times you got to deal with that, but I think they're just looking for a villain. Like, they're just looking for who posted the wrongest of the wrongest.
That's the best villain to pick.
And he was the one right there, wrong timing. Because there's nobody to blame. If the doctor was there, they would have blamed him. If the running back was the one that hit him the way he hit him like that, and he really be like, man, like, why do you have to be that? Why do you have to raise your?
There is nobody to blame in that situation.
There was nobody to blame.
But we ain't talking about that situation. We're talking about.
It was like now they got to go into gotcha. Now this one. This time around.
But next thing I want to talk about, though, which pissed me off about this situation, and let's make this brief, was how so many people were like, oh, this reminds me of slavery, and how
everything got to remind people.
Why does everything have to go? Why is this a matter of race versus black and white?
Every time.
And it's not a matter of right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? These people talking about this remind me of when slave masters and would have black people fighting and I'm like, this reminds you of that, but you never was a slave. So how could that remind you of something you never was a part of?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? You never felt that.
I stand, man, when they say it again.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem with black people of today. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to be about race. And this is part of the problem why racism still exists, because every situation have to be about race and you have to point a villain and a victim. And you have to have everything come back to, slavery. And this have nothing.
Victimhood mentality.
This have nothing to do with slavery, my guys. So the people who saying that, I need that to stop, because that is outright wrong.
Tell them, talk to them.
That is outright wrong.
Give them your monologue.
And that's the reason why. And that's the reason why slavery, and that's the reason why racism is still in America. Partly the reason why. Let me fix my words, because I don't want to be the villain again. I don't want to be the villain in this situation, and they bring this Shannon Sharp situation up, and this person talking about racism. And
one day they're going to have you on ESPN.
You know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with race between black and white. This has to do with Skip being wrong.
Yeah.
And he didn't do the right thing. And that's all I have to say about that situation. Yeah. With that being said, this is where we're going to end the podcast. If you guys like it, give it a thumbs up. Comment. You could comment and subscribe. Hit that ring notification bell to be notified when we post again. And thank you guys for watching and being a part of this, 6th episode?
Yep.
Thank you. Have a nice one.